When I looked at the PSB numbers and I looked at just the profits and losses of public sector banks, you take all the profits of all the banks and you take all the losses of all the banks, and you are in the negative by 10,200 crore in 16-17. That's another scary statistic after all for the entire public sector banking system. The government-owned banking system loses 10,200 crore last year.
So I think, Rajiv, there should be nobody in any doubt that, of course, it's a very, very serious situation. And to your first question, are we in a crisis situation? The answer is yes. The crisis is of money and of capital, as Abhizar has pointed out. But I believe it's actually a more serious crisis. And that is this. Banking is nothing but trust and credibility. If you don't trust your banker, then there is no bank. Let's be very, very clear about it. And the crisis we are now facing is that across the country, people believe that all bankers and all banks are crooks or incompetent, and that the regulatory framework which is governing are also completely incompetent and potentially crooked. And then we have the whole issue of political interference and electoral funding and cronyism. And there is a sense that something is completely rotten in the system. Now, whether you believe that or not, and I'm actually one of the people who believe that it is not as bad as it's stated. There are many, many bankers. In fact, I think most bankers are honest people. Our RBI is an extremely credible organization. There are problems, yes, there are problems. But the crisis which we now have is that people do not have faith in the system, in the banking system. We've just had a discussion on politics, so we'll not go there. But they do not have faith in the banking system. And at the moment, bankers are paralyzed by fear. I dare say auditors are also paralyzed by fear. And I'm sure you in the audience have experienced this, but I've been getting calls for the last couple of weeks saying no one is willing to lend. Whether it is exporters, whether it is small businesses, whether it is retail customers, there is now a paralysis in the system, and that is not good either for the banking system or the economy. So we do have a crisis, and it needs to be dealt with swiftly, clearly, and with a lot of transparency.